Hello everyone, welcome for this review of the Thieves Guild DLC. Like the video I've done some months ago regarding Orsinium, I will start this video by sharing with you a general overview, and then I will go more in detail, step by step, sequence by sequence, and share everything you need to know. And I will conclude with my personal opinion whether you should or not buy this DLC. I've been playing the Thieves Guild on the PTS the first week, and I have explored everything I had to know to discover and to make myself an opinion, but I also had the chance to have 1 hour and a half together with the developers, in particular Anna Murchison and Mike Finnegan, and of course our favorites Kyle. And I could ask them different questions to discuss with them. It was extremely fun. I will not share with you the extract of this conversation I had with them, but of course those information will be taken in account in this review. I hope you will enjoy it. The Thieves Guild DLC is going to be released the 7th March for PC and Mac in the same times for North America and Europe, the 22 March for Xbox One and the 23 March for PlayStation 4. It's the third DLC published by Zenimax after the Imperial City and Orsinium. It will cost 2000 krone, or it costs 4000 krone if you buy the collector edition that include a Hammerfell camel mount and a Dragonfire Spitfire frog pet, or whatever it's called, and 5 experience scroll. Of course, you have access to the Thieves Guild if you're a subscriber to ESO Plus, and this as long as you keep your subscription up. In terms of size and in quantity of content, the Thieves Guild is a lot smaller than Orsinium. Orsinium was a quite large update with a long storyline, a big zone that included several delves, 2 public dungeons, a lot of world bosses and a lot of quests. It was huge. In comparison, Thieves Guild is very small, but it's also less expensive. And also, you need to know that there is 2 parts, 2 different elements to this DLC. First of all, you have the Thieves Guild related content, which include a new zone, new delves, 2 world bosses, a storyline, some quests, some daily quests, and a lot of new gameplay elements that didn't exist in the Elder Scrolls Online before. On the other side, you have the trial for 12 players that scale to the group leader and have a normal and a veteran mode. This is 2 different kind of contents that may address to different kind of players or different kind of mood. In addition, it's not because the DLC is smaller that is less well made. On the contrary, it is very polished, very nice, very well made, very beautiful, very interesting. The quality is top notch. It's on par with Orsinium, even maybe a little bit better. And you have all those new gameplay elements that can be grown later. The developers can develop them more and add more content in future. The environment is gorgeous. Once more, the world builder in Zenimax have impressed me, and they will impress you too. Abah'sLanding is a wonderful, marvelous city that just come from the 1000 Night Tales. It is probably one of the biggest cities in Tamriel, and it's the ideal environment to become and to play a thief. You have some small alley, dark street, very tight. In poor area with beggars and drunkards and everything you can imagine, it really has the correct atmosphere. On the other side, you have the mansion of the rich lord merchants with their interior garden, their fountain, and all the luxury that they have. Market and merchant and inn and the harbor with the boats, and all of this make a really wonderful living ensemble. Also, all those little pathway on the rooftop, this is so typical. You really have an adventure. You are taken far away. You're traveling in a different world, in a Indiana Jones adventure and whatnot. In addition, all the interior are really well made, with a lot of details, a lot of objects, everything that make you want to become a thief, that make you want to steal. Not only the place itself is beautiful and gorgeous, but also it's a living place. There's a lot of NPCs, a lot more than any other city in Tamriel, and they all have new animation, so it's really make it more alive. You have jungler, and you have thieves that are sneaking around, guards that have different animation. You have people that are gathering to play dice on the ground and then they spread again. You have so many different kind of person that are sick or drunk, and all of this adds some novelty, something fresh, a new experience to the Elder Scrolls Online. Outside Abah'sLanding, you have the outskirts of Usbane, and here the contrast with Orsinium is quite huge. Instead of having frozen lands and steppes and forest, you have an exotic, tropical, arid kind of landscape with rocks and plants, and the wildlife is very well made, very different, with different sound, it's give a different atmosphere and you are traveling, and it's really great. Despite the fact that the zone is quite small, you have enough variety to keep it interesting and to make you want to explore it. You have very beautiful vistas, old Yokudan ruins that are quite different from those you have known already in Alkir Desert of Strosmakai. And you have two delves, and those two delves are really gorgeous. They are very big, a lot bigger than usual, probably on the same size than the one you find in Craglorn. One is an old tomb, old Yokudan tomb. As I said, they are very different, with a lot more details, and it's more polished. And the other one, Shark Teeth Grotto, it's gorgeous and it could have been a public dungeon. And when I asked to Anna why they have not chosen to make a public dungeon, she answered me there was two reasons. First reason, it was a lack of time. They would have wanted to have one public dungeon and one delve if they had the time to do it, but a public dungeon requires a lot more development than a delves. But the second reason is that this DLC is more aimed to solo players that want to just play the thieves, and this is something that you can do with friends, but you will most likely do it by yourself. And so they didn't want to have too much content that require players to be together in a group. While the story in the Thieves Guild and in Orsinium probably have the same level of quality, they are very different. In Orsinium it was a drama, it was something like a saga, something a bit dark and deep in emotion, while it is a little bit more light in the Thieves Guild, but it's very interesting too, and I progress as far in the main story to get really into it and to want to know what was going on. There's still elements that will surprise you. But the particularity of the story in the Thieves Guild, the story is not centered only on a main line of events, but also on different characters that are forming the guilds. It is about a guild after all, and so each character have their own storyline and their own quest, and you will have to help them individually as well, and while doing so you will discover their past, what happened in their life, why they have become what they are today, and how they have been in the Thieves Guild itself, which give a little bit more dimension to the feeling of being in a guild, because it's like you become friends with all those different characters. The developers have said that in this DLC they had the chance to go a lot deeper in the background of each character, and they put a lot of care into their personalities and what happened to them. And this is something that you feel when you're doing their quests. The whole story is intimately tied to the justice system or all those Thieves Guild gameplay. So you will have to sneak around, you will have to avoid guards, hide yourself, spies, use disguise, and all those criminal activities. So you will not be able to just enjoy the story. To be able to enjoy the story and to discover the lore related to the Thieves Guild, you will have to become a thief, may it please you or not. On the side, you need to increase your Thieves Guild reputation to be able to unlock new steps in the main story, and for that you will also have to do daily quests and repeatable quests that will send you all over Tamriel to pickpocket people, trespass some houses, steal stuff, which has a good side and a bad side. The bad side is if you are someone we do not like this, you may not really enjoy to have to do that and to grind your way through the reputation to be able to unlock the story and know the end. The good side is that it's very realistic, it's very immersive. You have to become a Thieves Guild member and prove yourself before to gain the trust of the other people in the Thieves Guild and to be able to unlock new step in the quest. So it kinda makes sense. So I do not really know if it's something that will annoy some players or not. What I can tell you is that it's worth to do it regardless you enjoy Thieves Guild activities or not, because what you have known so far in Tamriel right now, it is very different from the experience you have in the Thieves Guild, and I will explain that more in the gameplay part. What makes the Thieves Guild so special, it's all those new systems, all those new gameplay elements that are put in place to tell you a story in a different way. And like I was saying just before, even if you do not enjoy the current justice system put in place in Tamriel, it is very different to sneak around, pickpocket some citizen, go in a house, steal, with no reason other than selling it. In the Thieves Guild, all those activities have a story, have a reason. There is things that happen, you are following a plot. The feeling will be different, it's also more complex. For instance, you have those guards that have clairvoyance, so you cannot just sneak around and pass them. They will see you even if you have an invisible potion. So you will have to avoid them completely or use the hidden spot that are around. It will be like a mini game, a bit like a platform game. It really adds to the immersion of becoming a thief. You have to become one, to think like one thief. And not only you have those elements, but you have many different things that will spice up the story. There is just more than just doing a quest and listen to some NPCs telling their story. You will have to act, you will have to trespass, you will have to forge some criminal document, whatever. There's many activities that you will have to do. In addition, you have of course the new skill line, the Thieves Guild skill line, which is only passive related to Thieves Guild activity, so you will have no advantage in PvP or in PvE. It will serve no purpose in those areas, but it will help you to become a better thief. It's a little bit in the same line that the Legendament skill line, but it's not exactly the same. It will unlock very fun passive that will help you in your task of avoiding the guard or finding a way very fast to the headquarters of the Thieves Guild. Many different things that add some flavor and make you feel that you're becoming a powerful thief. Also, a very important element in this DLC are the daily quests or the repeatable quests. It's those quests that will help you to gain rank in the Thieves Guild, and so you will have to do them. But there is 3 different sorts, and that will allow players that do not really enjoy a type of quest to just focus on another one. The first one is the most classical one. You are sent into a delve or killing a world boss to get an item, and that you will have to bring back. It's exactly the same thing than in Orsinium. So you don't like thief activities, that will be the kind of daily quest you will want to do. Nothing more classical than that. The second set of dailies are repeatable quests, so you can do them several times a day, as much as you want. It's called Guild Job, and basically you will be sent all around Tamriel to do some thief-related jobs, like pickpocketing people, enter in houses and steal an object there. You know, that kind of activities really related to the justice system. But in addition, you have different tiers. So when you receive one quest that sends you to pickpocket 10 person, once you've done that, you have a second tier and a third tier, and more you do them, better is your reward. But if you don't like so much pickpocketing, you can just do one tier, go back, get your reward, and then do another quest. And then lastly, you have the haste. The haste are very particular and very fun. You do not unlock them immediately. You need to progress a little bit in the Thieves Guild main story and have a certain level. But once you unlock them, you can do it every day. It is a mini dungeon, a thief dungeon, where you have to find some treasure in a certain amount of time, get them, and get out of the dungeon without being seen by the guards. If you're seen by the guards, your time is decreased and you will have a lot of difficulty to get out in time. If you get out in time, your reward will be bigger than if you get out once the time is finished. But you will be rewarded anyway, just not as much. Those dungeons are very fun, because you will really have to apply everything you have learned as being a thief in those mini dungeons, and you have the possibility of progressing and becoming more and more skilled in your own area. It's a sort of Thieves Guild endgame. It's quite difficult as well. I've never managed to get out in time. First of all, you have to avoid the guard, to not be seen, to know the way, to know the trick, when to rush, when to hide, when to wait, how to use the hidden spots, all of that, and being able to unlock the chest fastly without making any mistake. Those dungeons, there is 5 different, and they are always a little bit random, so you will not have the same set of guard and the same treasure placed at the same spot, so you will always have a random element to it. In addition to all of this, you also have the 2 world bosses that are quite interesting. It is made for a group of 4 persons that know a little bit their job, so it's quite difficult, and of course the group can be larger than that. They present different attacks that are unique to them, that you have not seen anywhere else, and that are quite interesting and will require the players to be on their toes. The 2 delves are quite easy and do not really represent a challenge, but they are very gorgeous, and it will not be boring to go there every day to do your dailies. The Ma of Lorcash is the new trial made for 12 players. It's scaled to the group leader, and it has a normal version that you can start at level 10 and a veteran version that you can start at veteran 1. In addition, you can find a group via the cross-faction group finder. So basically, this trial, in the contrary of the other one before, is very accessible to the player. Also, the developers have said that they have not put some artificial limits, so you're not forced to come with 12 player. If you want to attempt the trial with 10 player, 8 player or 3 player, you can do it as well. So this really allows more flexibility, more accessibility, and so this content will be visited by a lot of players. I have not tested it myself very much. I have seen the first bosses with the developer group, but I cannot really say I have done the trial. But I've read a lot of feedback in the PTS forum, and apparently the players are quite happy with the difficulty, the normal mode being accessible to the average players but still being a challenge, and so Pug's group or inexperimented players might find some difficulties to overcome and will have the possibility to learn and to become more skilled and progress. While for the veteran version it's quite difficult, and that will be the content that the hardcore guild and the elitist player will enjoy to do and will want to do to compete on the leaderboards. The rewards are also well balanced, blue item with a chance of a special set item on the last boss for the normal version, and a guarantee to have new set items on each bosses for the veteran version. This trial contains 3 bosses and 5 encounters in all, and apparently the trash mobs are also difficult and will also present their challenge. So this is very good news, not only because it's a new trial and it's a very long time that players have been awaiting for that, but the fact that it's accessible to different skill level and different players, and that it's battle level, make it very good as well and very valuable. Something that really pleases me is that the Maw of lore cache is set up in the Khajiit lore, and this is exactly what the developers told me. They find that the Khajiit lore was not explored enough, we do not know much about it, and they wanted to do something related to the Khajiit. And you had this problem in Reaper's Marsh regarding the Dromatra. It was the perfect occasion to make something interesting with the existing lore and to elaborate around it and to make something that will intrigue the players and that will open a little window on the Khajiit culture. A new trial and more lore for the Khajiit, that's what the players asked for. Now time for the conclusion. I think the Thieves Guild DLC is a very good one. It's well made, it's interesting, it's different, it's fun, and a lot of players will enjoy it. But most importantly, it has a trial that is accessible to everyone or almost everyone. If you enjoy doing dungeon, if you enjoy to do trial, may it be casually or hardcore, you need to get this DLC, because you will have content that will be offered to you where you can progress, that you can experiment, you can get loot from it, you can enjoy it with your guild or with random people using the new grouping function that is cross-faction. It has been announced recently, it works for trial as well. So I think that if there was only the trial, it will already be an interesting DLC. But then in addition you have the Thieves Guild itself, which is very well made. It's an interesting story in a beautiful place with fun new gameplay element. Even if you do not like sneaking around, stealing stuff, usually I think it's worth to try it, just to experiment it, just to have a different experience of the Elder Scrolls Online. Now, you do not need to do it right now, you can take your time. If you're still leveling into the vanilla content, just enjoy that and you will take this DLC for later. You do not need to get it just right now because it's come out. Another thing is that I'm not sure that the Thieves Guild itself, if you're not a fan of playing as a thief, it might not have so much replayability. Once you have finished the main story, if you are not like Lady Ace, the Queen of Thieves, you probably have no reason to continue to go there besides to enjoy the, I don't know, the landscape. So in a very short, I think the Thieves Guild is a very good DLC. It's new and refreshing, it has a nice storyline, interesting character, very gorgeous environment, new good gameplay feature, and a trial. So I think it's pretty good. Now, do I prefer the Thieves Guild or Orsinium? Well, I do not know, because I've not finished the Thieves Guild, but when I will tell you. Well, that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Do not hesitate to share your impression in the comments below and tell me what you think. If you find this video useful, please share it around you. This helps me to make more content for you to enjoy. I wish you to spend a great time in the Thieves Guild, or not. Take care of yourself, and I will see you next time. Bye bye everyone.